Our next alumnus that I have the pleasure to introduce to you is Phil Mintz. And some of you may know that we have many degrees that have an affiliation with industrial and systems engineering. So Alumnus Mintz is from one of those degrees, engineering operations. And one of the other things that I really like about that connection between EO and the Department of ISE is that we now have a degree that is titled the Masters of Engineering Management. And that's probably the closest to the EO degree that is here at NC State. And that was reopened as under the new name, I believe in January 2021, and has just grown and soared in popularity, showing that there's this real desire for getting a background in both engineering and management, as Alumnus Mintz has done. Two other things I'll tell you about him. He came in to this organization at NC State that serves manufacturing companies around the state, especially small to mid-sized manufacturing companies. The organization is called IES, and to make sure I have the current acronym right, it is the Industry Expansion Solutions, although it's had some other names in the past. And it was in rough shape when Mr. Mintz came in 2016, but he really rallied and worked with companies statewide and turned the organization around. And he and his team are impacting more than 100 manufacturers every year. And so this is a powerful force in the land grant mission of economic development. One other thing I'll tell you about Alumnus Mintz is that he has a former and perhaps current, but at least former career in radio. He did radio at NC State as a student, and then in grad school at NC A&T, and now he's taken that on with podcasts to share the work of IES and NC State with the world. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Mintz.
Certainly. It's very honored to be here. Again, like many before me, I'm pretty humble about this. A nomination selection like this, because of the nature of what we do in our department, as Julie described, we have relationships with ISE faculty and students, on a regular basis. So when Dr. Swan set up the meeting with me, I was thinking we were going to be talking about some grant application or some collaboration. So I had no idea, but as I tell my kids, I've always told them, I said, you always want to try to do your best because you can never know who's watching and what they're seeing. So my sincere thanks goes out to Dr. Swan, the nominating committee, the ISE advisory board, and whoever else thought I was worthy for nomination for this recognition. So as I reflect back to my time as an undergraduate in college, a couple of funny things came to mind. When I entered NC State some time ago, let's put it that way, as a freshman, I was accepted to study chemical engineering, right? So chemical engineering, I was great in math, and I loved my chemistry classes. But it only took Chem 101 to let me know that I didn't love chemistry as much as the chemistry engineering group needed me to know. So I discovered the engineering operations degree program because I thought it'd be really interesting to combine that broad knowledge of nearly all the engineering disciplines with specific studies in management and finance. And it certainly was a different challenge. But some of my purest engineering friends in my circle, they lovingly joked about the engineering operations degree at that time, or the EO degree. They did not see the value in the EO and the work that in the curriculum that was in the way I did. They were saying that EO stood for easy out. Well, those people hadn't looked at my transcript, right? Because EO was certainly not easy for me to get out of. But my engineering operations degree, as Dr. Swan mentioned, it included a strong base of knowledge in industrial engineering principles, which I carried forward through my IE graduate degree program. But it turns out that the so-called Easy Out program gave me a good foundation for what you see in me and what I've done today. Because throughout my career, I've always been interested in developing a diverse understanding of the work that was around me. And I've always been interested in learning from everybody who I was around. And so just the whole foundation of being able to understand different types of ways things are being done and the ways that people approach those things. So I feel so fortunate today that I've had, one, the encouragement of my parents who did not experience college but understood the importance of it. I had the encouragement of my siblings, one of my sisters who are here today, who charted a path, completed their degree before me and starting professional careers while I was really still in grade school. And also the support of my many friends and colleagues along the way, a lot of them who joined me today, who've given me something that they have learned or earned, and it helps guide me every day. So I'm really grateful for all of those people who continue to support me today. Finally, I do want to thank and recognize my great dean, Louis Martin Vega, who saw it some 6 years ago, to give me the opportunity to take on this challenging leadership role at IES during a challenging time. And as he does with all of his appointments, he provided me with nothing less than his full support. So I'm really grateful for him for that. So clearly, the NC State Engineering Operations graduate, as a graduate some time ago, I had no idea how much more the university and the college would mean to me or my career. But thanks to many, I certainly do know that today. And I will always be especially grateful to the College of Engineering at NC State, and of course, that Easy Out degree program. Thank you. Okay.